Hi. I already filmed this video once and I'm not sure what happened, but looks like the file's corrupted. So I'm going to go over it again. I did it all with you on video because this time, instead of just giving a quick rundown, I wrote everything out on the video because I wanted it to be a little easier for new people to understand. And of course the friggin' video isn't working. So I'm just going to try to explain as best as I can, and hopefully it makes sense. But of course, if you are new to a zero-based budget and you have any questions at all, just leave them down below and I'll answer them for you. Okay, so how do you create a zero-based budget? So I personally get paid bi-weekly, twice a month. So what I like to do is I like to create a monthly budget, and then I essentially split it in half for each paycheck. One half for the first paycheck of the month and one half for the second paycheck of the month. So when I'm creating my monthly budget, I start by writing down my income. Okay. This is only my income. It is not my husband's. We have separate bank accounts. That works for us. That's what we like to do. So, the income for the month is $3,300. After my income, the very first thing I do is write down all my bills and all the amounts, because before I get any spending money, before I get to play any savings challenges, put any money into sinking funds, I got to make sure my bills are paid. So these are all of my bills. I total them up. They total $2,177. And then I would subtract, I would take my income, okay, which is $3,300. Remember, this is for an entire month. And then I would subtract my bills for the month, which are $2,177. That leaves me with $1,123 remaining to split between cash envelopes, which are for my spending for the 2 weeks, sinking funds, which are just basically little mini savings accounts, and savings challenges, which are just little games that you play just to make it a little bit easier to save money. So yeah, it's just another form of saving that's just a little bit more motivating and a little bit more fun. I am freezing. My fingers are about to fall off. Okay, so after bills are paid, then I give myself my money to spend over the next 2 weeks. So I write all of that out and total that up. That equals $660. Once I do that, just like I did for the bills, I'm going to subtract the $1,123 that I had remaining from the $660 that I'm now spending with my variable spending, and I have $463 remaining. Okay, this is the part that I think a lot of people kind of get stuck with. So these are my sinking funds. Your sinking funds are going to look different than mine because there are different things that you're saving for than I'm saving for, okay? Your priorities are different than mine. Your life is different than mine. So I have a ton of sinking funds. You might have a ton as well. You might only have a couple. You figure out what things you want to save for, and those are your sinking funds. For example, vacation, birthdays, holidays, Christmas. So holidays for me is anything other than Christmas. Christmas has its own because that's sort of like the big one, okay? So you just figure out whatever you want to save for, and those are the categories for your sinking funds. I definitely recommend you have an emergency fund. I recommend everyone has that. But after that, then it's just, up to whatever you want to save for. Okay. And I think a lot of people wonder, well, how much do I know? How do I know how much to put in each of these? It's up to you. There's no right or wrong answer. You put in what you can afford, and B, according to what is a priority for you. For example, vacation's a priority for me because I have a vacation coming up in July that I need to get paid off. So I'm putting more in vacation than a lot of these other funds. Debt is a priority for me because I want to pay off as much debt as I can as quickly as possible. Emergency, I recommend that being a priority for everyone until you at least get your $1,000 emergency fund built up. 1,000 is definitely not enough typically, but it's a good start. And I already have that, which is why I'm putting a little bit lower of an amount. And I will explain why these are crossed off as well. So yeah, you put in whatever is a priority for you. You can see that I'm not putting in any money into every single fund. I just don't have the money for that. So you're not going to stuff all of your sinking funds every single time unless, maybe you just want to put $5 in each. That's fine too. Whatever you can afford, whatever is a priority, those are what you're going to stuff the most money in. Okay. So after you figure all that out, and of course things can change too. You can always come back to your budget before you're paid, change numbers around and all that. After you write all that out, you're adding it up, and just like the previous times, you're going to subtract that from what you had left. So I'm putting 360 into my sinking funds. I had 463 remaining, so if I do 463 minus 360, that leaves me 103 left, and I'm using that $103 for challenges. Remember, this is for a month, so basically I'll have, around $51 per paycheck to put towards savings challenges. Okay, the reason that these are crossed off, and you'll see in the next section of the video that I add at the end of this, is I had to make some changes because I got a humongous, monstrous electric bill, and I am not stuffing anything that's crossed off. And instead of making a snowball payment, that's going to have to go towards my electric bill. So this is like pre-planning. If my electric bill is as much in February as it was this month, January, then this is all going to have to go towards the electric bill instead of where I planned for it to go. I didn't want to erase it completely just in case by some miracle of Jesus, the electric bill is not as high. Then I could, go back to putting these amounts in. But I didn't want to completely rework the budget. I just had to kind of move some money around to find enough money to pay for that damn electric bill. So that's the only reason you see things crossed out. But this is a good example of showing, how you can have your whole budget decided and then something happens and then you have to go in and change it. So I hope that helps. I think that was a pretty fast explanation, but I don't know. I mean, it just logically makes sense in my brain, so hopefully it helped you as well. I really wish that my prior video wasn't corrupted because I'm sure it was much more detailed and way better than this, but it is what it is. So, like I said, if you have any questions, definitely leave them down below if you're a newbie. Yeah, basically just the purpose of this whole zero-based budget is just to give every dollar a place, because I know for me, and you may be different, of course, but for me, if I leave money in my bank account, I spend it. So this way, every single dollar is either spent on bills, weekly spending, sinking funds, or challenges. It gets all the money out of my account, and that way I can't spend it. Now, I do leave a very tiny buffer in my account, and I freaking spend it every time, even though I would love to let it build up, but I just have no self-control, apparently. So, yeah, that's why I don't want to give myself like a larger buffer or anything like that, because I will spend it. I'm trying to get out of that habit. I really am, but for now, it is what it is, and I have to kind of work with that. So that is the whole purpose of like a zero-based budget. It's giving every dollar a home, every dollar a place. You're essentially spending your money before you get it. So yeah, leave questions down below, like the video, please hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Did you hear my sigh? Okay, so I didn't forget anything, but I just got hit with a $400 $444 electric bill. $444. That is insane. So because I only budgeted $175, actually I forgot to turn my light on here. There we go. I only budgeted $175 for next month. I'm gonna have to change that. So I'm gonna make some changes here. So, first thing I'm gonna do is take away from some of these sinking funds. We're gonna take away the emergency, groceries, medical, subscriptions, sewing, and I think that's about all I want to take away. Yes, I could take away every single one, but this is what I'm deciding. Okay, so that's 20 plus 10 plus 10 plus 20 plus 25. I could have done that in my head. So that's 85 there from sinking. Okay, then I think, unfortunately, instead of my snowball payment, I'm going to have to add that in to the electric. So I'll put /electric here. I mean, it will be a miracle if next month it's not the full $444, but I want to get it straightened out in the budget now. That way, if it is, I can pay it. Okay, so I budgeted $175. Grab my calculator here. $175 plus, if we add the $130, we're at $305 plus 85 brings us to $390. So I think between those three things, that'll be good. And if it is like $450 or so, I'll just kind of take the rest out of savings or something. I should not give myself an Amazon gift card. I should not give myself money for challenges when I have a bill to pay, but I think I can absorb the rest. And then if my husband gives me some money towards it, you know, then all the better. But yuck. And I did check our history, and last January and February it was the same thing. $450 the bills were around. So I don't know. It's just like, I looked at that today and I was like, oh my God, are you effing kidding me? And I'm sitting here in my office with the heater on and still freezing my butt off. So that's fun. Is it spring yet? All right. So yeah, I just wanted to add this little portion in at the end of the video in case you see the budget looking a little bit different. You'll know why. So that's it for real. Bye.